the seller that I signed on last week, I'm meeting with an investor tomorrow to try to get a deal done. With them, I'm going to videotape it so you guys can see how I close the deal. I'm working on a $1.2 million deal with her friend Jacob for commercial. So I'm actively doing real estate now. Okay? Whatever I'm teaching you guys, I'm doing. Denise was on the phone with us last week for like 2 hours, and we just went way over it. And not all of it, but we were getting down to numbers.
It's not over my head, Paul.
No, I know. No, I know that it was not the right moment. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Okay. So the point is that everything I'm teaching you guys, I'm actually doing it. Whether I'm here or not, it's what I'm doing. Okay? So 2 things I want to talk about in preparing for next month. I'm going to ask everybody, please try to be here on time. And let me tell you why. Remember I told you, you don't want to waste your time, you don't want to waste their time, and that every time we're late, and I'm here waiting late, that's wasting my time. Because I could be doing something else. And I'm not trying to be harsh, and I know everybody got things going. You got children. I get that. But at the end, it's all about time management. If you can't make it, because what I'm going to start doing is who's ever late is just not going to be welcome in. They're just going to have to wait for the next training. Because it's not fair to everybody else when I'm ready to go. And if there's one person, I'm going to train one person. Because I think it's disrespectful of that. So just understand, if you were running something, somebody's paying you, and even though you're getting paid, you could say, you know what, screw that, I'm getting paid anyway, right? But that's not my mindset. My mindset is if I have something to offer, and if you don't think it's valuable, then you disrespect that time. That's how I'm seeing it. Because I know this, I got people right now that are big dogs that are going to pay me big dollars to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not beating anybody. I'm just telling you, after 2 months, I feel like I've earned the right and earned your respect to tell you that. And so make it a conscious effort to do that. Because here's the thing is, we had 5 opportunities on listing sales that we never had before. Right? And at first we were resisting the for sale by owner, but it works. And we're going to get, I expect to get at least 2 or 3 this week. You know what I mean? So it does work. We just got to keep wanting to do it, okay? Now, before we get into the role-playing and co-playing, I redid the script. But here's what I want you to understand. Here's the final thing. The importance of asking questions. It's not about asking questions. It's how you ask questions. Why is that important? Number 1, you have to understand and anticipate a response, right? You should know what that response is going to be. Mm-hmm. Whether, I had a bad experience with an agent, blah, 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 blah. So when you ask a question, you ask it with a purpose, is because you're dictating the conversation. So you should know the response, right? Does that make sense? Number 2, when you understand the response, you should be already prepared to have a powerful rebuttal and diffuse it. What does diffuse mean? What do you think it means?
To turn off, like to stop.
Okay.
To bring it back to like a good
path? Okay.
To basically change their perspective from what it currently is.
Okay. You're right. It's on one. It eliminates it. When you have a powerful rebuttal, I understand how you feel. I felt the same. Let me tell you what I found. Not every agent is the same way. As a business owner, I had to learn that. Right? Now you diffuse it. It's no longer about the agent. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to pay 6% commission. I understand that. Some people are not worthy of it because they don't show you no value. However, if I'm able to show you a quick escrow, get you the right investor that has cash or has great finance and is ready to go in escrow and do a quick closing, that's valuable to you, right? You need to be on listing, right? MLS. Well, you can't be on MLS unless you have an agent, right? If I could solve that problem, I become valuable to you. That was the point for Sheila. Does that make sense? So you want to say with the power, you know that's coming. So how you respond to it is how you're going to diffuse it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Now, how you say it will determine your value. Everybody's typical, no, I know you got a lot of agents, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the response is, that's typical mindset of everybody. But if you come in with a different rebuttal that they never heard, like, you know, Franco real estate. Real estate is what we do. Building long-term profitable relationship is what we focus on. You know, we don't like to waste your time or my time. I'm assuming a lot of people don't say that. However, you have buyers that you're buying properties from somebody who's listed with somebody else, right? Come on in. Come on. You can sit there. There's a script right there for you, the new one. Okay? So at the end of the day, is when you get a buyer to buy from another seller, right? Seller's agent, somebody's getting that listing, which means they're doing something to get a listing. Does that make sense? So you got to do that. The other thing is, always ask questions and rebuttals in a story format. I have it set up where every time you ask a question, you could have follow-up questions, you could give your style, you could do the things that you want, because at the end, you have to tell it in a story, because the story is what makes the relationship flow. You ever talk to somebody just standing and the guy or the girl is boring, like, you know, you start like, man, how do I get away from this? Or what about somebody that's excited that you want to be part of? It's how they're telling the story, how they're making you feel. So don't just ask a question, ask it for a purpose. That's what I do, and you hear me all the time. When I ask a question, I ask it in a story format. Does that make sense? So I want you guys to just keep this in mind, that when I put these questions on the script, there's a purpose for it. It's for you to have the ability to tell a better, effective story. Because as I said, 90% of people who tell a powerful and effective story is the one that's going to generate the sale. That's just the way it is. Does that make sense? Look how close we are to getting listings than we were a month ago, right? We never thought that possible. Now we're there. And you know, once you get used to that, like a drug, you ain't gonna settle for nothing less. Why? Because now you gain confidence. You know what you're doing. There is a better way. Now people are gonna come to you where they want to buy your product. Aren't you doing that? You go to the listing, see who's selling, and you want to get a buyer, right? How about we flip it the other way? Well, you have enough brokers in here to do both sides. Keep everything in-house. You make more money that way, right? Does that make sense? So that's the purpose of the script. That's the purpose of storytelling. Is not asking questions, it's how you ask the question, the purpose of that. Any questions on that? And also, the less time you spend doing this, that means you're not spending time on the right things. Because let me tell you something, one last thing is, who follows basketball here? You follow basketball? No? Okay. There's certain players in basketball that they do what they call the dirty work. They'll play defense, they'll take the foul, they're not scoring, they'll do the rebound, block shot. They'll do all the dirty work that you don't really see. Everybody remembers how many points you scored, how many assists you have, or rebound. Well, the guy that does the grunt work, that does the dirty work, is the guy that sets the tone for the whole team. You know what I mean? So cold calling, understanding it, and making those calls is going to change your career. I've done it many times with many people. You know, the question is, are you ready to do that? So time is important, and also how you ask the questions is important. All right. That's any questions on that?